Sheikh Sufi Bob, SheikhSufi@gmail.com, CHEIKHSUFI@gmail.com. Opening prayer for the greatest shaman that I know in the West, for the Ankh rising sun. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin al-Fatihi lima uglika wal-Katimi lima sabaka ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'een. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghair maghdubi alayhim. Waladwallin. Alhamdulillah. Dr. Sanada Kamara, co-founder of Temple Mother Earth, sending love, peace, and abundance prayer to everyone around the world.
Greetings, loved ones. My prayer for you for 2024 is to be in a vibrational receiving match. A vibrational receiving match for happiness, for giving, for gratitude, for wisdom, for discernment, with abundance of blessings, for your soul tribe, for your soulmate, for your open-mindedness, for your spiritual growth, for divine love, and for a healthy, emotional, physical, spiritual body. I wish you all these things and pray that you receive all these things in the year 2024. In all languages. Ashe, Amin, and Namaste. You can reach me at Instagram, Sequoia_spirit, that is SEQUOIA. Again, I wish you all these blessings and so much more in the year of 2024. Thank you.
Greetings and welcome, family, and welcome back. I am Uncle Rising Sun here on this wonderful Friday. I thank you for being born. Thank you for being alive. We're going to have a special show tonight. But before we begin, I want to acknowledge the divine in me, my own I am, light fiber optic spirit ray, and you, the listening audience. I am streams of spirit light fiber, animated, incarnated into this dream reality. And I say individually and collectively, thank you. And I wish your birthday be celebrated, and the moment you realize why you incarnated, and may your mission be successful. So in this opening, before we begin, I want to acknowledge our ascended master brothers and sisters, Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Simeon Toko, Sanat Kumara, Saint Germain, Yahshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary, Heteru, Aset. I want to acknowledge the prophets, Prophet Noble Jwali, Prophet Elijah Muhammad, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I want to thank Seraphis Bey, Tahuti, the Atlantean, who opened up and brought the technology globally throughout the world for for us to have visionary inspiration, Nikolai Tesla. And most of all, I want to say to all, may Archangel Michael, may Archangel Michael protect you, protect your wives, girlfriends, children, grandkids, nieces, and nephews, wherever they may be. Because while we're in this skin suit, we need protection each and every day. Acknowledge angel of healing, Archangel Raphael, angel of strength, Archangel Gabriel. We thank you and invite you to be on the show. Archangel of enlightenment, Archangel Uriel. Maybe I might have said it once. I'll say it twice. It's still nice. And the ascended masters of Africa, Simeon Toko, Sheikh Amadou Bamba, and all ascended masters of Atlantis, Lemuria, Master Himalaya, all the Buddhas, the Lady Buddhas, the Krishnas, the Lady Krishnas. We want to thank you and invite you. Shroom Master, Dr. George Washington Carver, we thank you and invite you. Shroom Master, Dr. Sabi, we thank you and invite you. Shroom Master, Kalindi Aye, we thank you and invite you. Chief Geronimo, Chief Osceola, Chief Crazy Horse, Chief Sitting Bull, Nat Turner, John Brown, Chief Seattle, and all the shaman warriors, activists, South African Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa, we thank you and invite you. And to all who walk the Jedi path to enlightenment, to make the world a better place in this dream time, may we remember always, this is a dream world of infinite dreams, but the only reality is our I am. And we're going to have a wonderful meeting tonight with Dr. Phil Valentine's wife, soulmate, Jedi. It's going to drop feminine magic and wisdom. So sit back and enjoy as we bring them on. Give them an applause. Welcome to the show, family. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Greetings. Thank you.
Greetings, Nalani. You know something? You look the same as when the first time I saw you over by Grand Army Plaza years and many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever tonic you have, you better bottle that up, sister.
Honey, you need to get your eyes fixed.
Huh?
You're looking more like Uncle Unc, more and more, brother.
Man, I just was working on some magnets that make me feel happy.
Well, do like Lester said, he's not the mad professor, he's the glad professor.
Yeah, I'm glad too. And when we start the show, family, I just started drinking man testosterone tonic so I can maintain altitude in the jet stream of life. Copperdula, monkey ladder, devil doer, granny back, locust bar, and combined with some horny goat weed, heshawu, and I'm going to see what it does to me so I can share it with you.
He might be turning into the Hulk any minute now, brother.
So, family, wherever you are in the world, in the universe, omniverse, put it in the chat. So while our beautiful Nalani, Valentine, and Phil's going to open for her, we will see how far your awareness and Shakti is going to travel through the ethereal realms. Sister Goddess, God is the only reality, so I welcome you, Sister Nalani Valentine, to the show. And this is my big aloha brother, Phil Valentine. Let that show begin and let your spirit flow.
All right. Thank you very much, Uncle Unc.
Yes.
We're going to call him from now on because he is the glad professor. We love everything that he does for us. He keeps us in the spirit realm and makes the spirit realm a fun place to be. I have the extreme pleasure of actually having the chance to introduce someone who has stuck by me like no other, except my first and my number one and my closest family, has believed in the work that I have been doing for the last 35, 40 years We're together now for 25 years. And she has been there by my side and helped me, taught me how to do the PowerPoint presentations that you see me doing every day. And we went through an incredible experience together, a life-changing experience together that she wants to share with the world. And I think that people going through trials that bring them close to actually visiting the ancestors and then coming back. I'll tell you the truth. Mother showed me just how powerful a spirit she has, because I wanted to choose the lesser of the evils for her to deal with her path towards healing. But she went and visited the ancestors for a brief moment and came back, which she'll tell you in her book, came back and went through the crucible, the fire, like what's her name said, like Chaka Khan said, through the fire, through the limit, through the wall.
Wow.
And she actually, and will tell you that she actually died in my arms. This is my story for what it is, because she didn't know it. And I revived her and for a minute, and she came back. And her journey and her path is going to be an incredible inspiration to people who have faced these types of challenges that seem to be that like there's no hope of actually overcoming these challenges. Well, she's going to be one of those beacons that people are going to look up to after they read her book, because it's a page turner. So with that, I would like to introduce the world, or those who actually trust the work that I've been doing, know that this woman has been doing the work even better than me, because she would never have been able to come back from the realm of the ancestors if she actually lived the life I was living. She lived a more prestigious, and a much more monk-like life than I ever did. So all you people out there are in for a treat. I will introduce to you my paramour, my balance, my beloved wife, Dr. Nalani Valentine.
Yeah, I'm going to clap. Yay.
You are. Well, I'm telling you, for the next 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, I'm just going to be here with you, and just to share that this journey certainly is, even though I experienced it, it's really not about me. Because if it were about me, then I would not still be here. I was allowed to come back so that I can share with the family and with the world how they can be prepared for the unexpected. And that's why the title is the way it is.
Wow.
You know, it's new life near death. How to protect your life and your health for the unexpected.
Sister Nalani, Dr. Nalani, so many of our folks are so spooky about the afterlife and even talking about death. And so your message, this is crucial. Your timing is good, because ego is scared. Listen, I got to go get your pictures. So I'm going to give you full screen, and please continue. I'm going to back it up. I'm going to back up so I can go get those pictures that we have for you.
All righty. All right. So we'll be answering questions later, and we're not going to spoil it for everyone, because we're looking forward to seeing you Tuesday on the 28th at 8 p.m., where we're going to have a special Zoom call just to share with you about the book, what went on behind the book, and some other surprises for attendees only. So I'm not going to give it away. However, I'm so grateful to the family for even being with us, and to Brother Hank, because Rising Sun, I love calling him Rising Sun, because that's who he is. And just for the opportunity to share with the family the fact that we are here for you. Indeed. That's our purpose. And if you know anything from Dr. Valentine, you know how he cares for his people, how he cares for our people. And I feel that way as well. And so everything that we do it with the family in mind. right? And that is our purpose. And when you have been in a situation where I have been, I didn't even realize that I had gone. And you'll see that in the book. I'll be reading the first chapter. It's very short chapter. And it's in diary form. So exactly the way it was happening is the way that we're sharing.
Yeah. And what I would definitely do, I can give them a little pinch of what it is. Know that this book is not only exciting and was actually pre-read and shared by some celebrities, but it was so good and impacted so well on the celebrities that a very notable person, a superstar who just got inducted into the Music Hall of Fame after she read it and her sister read it, she decided to write. We asked her if she would like to write it. She said yes, she would love to write it. And her name is Chaka Khan. So the preview of the book, the prologue of the book, is actually written by Chaka Khan and her sister.
The foreword.
Yes, the foreword, I'm sorry, is written by Chaka Khan and her sister, Tammy. Graciously written by them.
Just blew us away.
Mm-hmm. All right, somebody's just left us, I guess, of our own accord. Anybody would have any questions? Or
He said he was going to get the picture.
Okay, can you hear me? I'm back.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is deep because my brother Lenny actually died twice also. First time he died, he said he went to the gates and they were jamming. And he said these two big bodyguards was like at this gate. He said it's a white gate. And then he said, let me in. They said, no, it's not your time. He said, what do you mean it's not my time? Look at my body down there.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother Lenny, he was kind of gangster, you know. So he said he bum rushed the two bodyguards. And the next thing he knew, he was thrown back in his body and he was pissed off.
Wow.
Well, that's interesting because
then he got run over by a truck and he transitioned. And so I know he's in a happy place because he has so many friends, you know, outlaws. And the picture they paint of heaven with, you know, and being scared to die, I think it's a bunch of farce. It's farce.
Yeah.
My brother couldn't wait to go back into the afterlife because he was happy with his friends and family and loved ones and everything. So here's the pictures. Sister Nalani, you want me to post your beautiful photos?
It's your show.
Yeah, but it's your flow. Family, look at this. Tell us about this book.
Okay, well, first of all, Dr. Valentine, you know he's the artiste of the mostest. Okay.
Ooh.
And he always fixes everything that I do. He says, oh, let me fix that. And he does a good job of it. So this is about Tuesday. This is what the flyer is about. Letting everybody know that it's a free webinar that will be sharing more detail. Actually, he's going to be reading the foreword that Chaka Khan and Tammy Michelle wrote. And then I'll be reading the first chapter of the book. And then we'll be offering some special offerings for attendees only. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a party. I'm looking forward to it. And I just want to share, though, that we never know, obviously. We never know what's around the corner.
You got that right.
That's
you got that right. Every time we get in a car or walk out the door or fall asleep at night, we don't know what kind of dice we're going to be rolled.
Hello.
That's a fact, Jack.
Yeah. And so the thing is, though, especially, and my message really is especially to those of us who are health conscious, those of us who think that we've got it all together. Because I know what I did. We think that I'm a raw foodist, I'm a vegan, I'm a this, I'm a that. I eat only organic and I eat only, you know. However, we still don't know what's around the corner. And there are ways to be prepared for that. And the question always is, well, how can you prepare for the unexpected? that's where my lifestyle, and this is the title that he wanted the book to be, My Lifestyle Saved My Life. It wasn't just one thing. And that's why I teach my 5 foundations of life. Because if it were not for them, I would not be here, like he said. Truly. You know, everybody talks about, and more today than ever before, people are talking about nutrition, hydration, exercise, and all of these, what they call the pillars of health. And I have created my 5 foundations of health because I've simplified it. Just simple. Think well, drink well, eat well, sleep well, and move well.
Yeah.
Right? And if it were not for those, and of course, nutrition is a huge part of that. And that's why we're sharing in this way.
Sister Nalani, when you have a close call and then you was called back, how does that affect your perception of time in this dream reality? Tell us about it, please.
What a question. I've heard the term new lease on life. I've heard it, but I didn't understand it. And now I understand it, right? Fully overstand and understand it. Because while I was going through it, I had no idea how profound it was. It's looking back. It's looking back and feeling so good. You know, my husband hears me say this, and other people hear me say this so much now. It feels good to feel good. It just feels good to feel good. My body had gone to a place where when I came back, my muscles were like spaghetti.
Wow.
And my brain, even though I didn't know it back then, looking back, I can see the fog that my brain was in as it was working to come back. When I was going through it, though, the ancestors were certainly with me.
Yes.
And my lifestyle, the first, and I believe, I say that all of the 5 principles of health, thank you, Kimberly. I say that the 5 principles of health are each one as important as the other. However, if the first one, mindset, thinking well, if that's not in place, you can forget it. And that's what carried me through. Instead of being upset or afraid or angry or why me, now don't get it twisted. Those thoughts did come into my mind.
Yes.
And I did not allow them to take root. So I decided that I'm staying in a hotel. And my food, I mean, they even had a vegan chef in the hotel, and he would call me and say, what would you like tonight? And so that's what was carrying me the whole time, this feeling that I'm good, it's all good, what's for tomorrow?
Wow.
It's so indeed. I just want to come in here and just interject into her wisdom. When the doctors gave her the choices for the type of therapy they needed to actually initiate in order to stop her progress towards the ancestors, so to speak, they said, well, you can take this particular path or the more strident one that we give to people who are only 30 and 25 and maybe 20 years of age. When they took her blood sample to the ancestors, heart to the ancestors, when they took her blood sample, we are in our 70s. When they took her blood sample, they said she had the blood sample of a 25-year-old. And she had the organs to match a 25-year-old, which is why she took the most strident 7 days with an additional 7 days of what you call the chemotherapy. Now, we did not know that the type of cancer, her cancer was so rare because it came genetically, it was in the mitochondria. We didn't know it. And that's the thing about it. If she was living another lifestyle altogether, then the doctor said she wouldn't have been here. And the interesting part about it is that when she went through what she went through, it was because of her lifestyle, because of the way she lived, the way she thought, everything involved in her lifestyle itself, which is what she wants to offer to everyone with the different things that go along with the book. She wants to give that particular type of wisdom to you. When I said, listen, we need to go to this, I said, listen, you know what? When you get shot, the first thing you do is not go to the blender and try to get juicing some carrots. You understand?
Yes,
So
yes.
when they said that they don't know what her cancer is, why it is she's like this, they had to actually send it to the NIH because they could not actually know what it is that was going on with her. They had her blood so special. This thing was such an attack that came from a long time ago because unfortunately her mother and her brother passed from versions of cancer as well. But her lifestyle stopped that, which shows that you do not actually are sentenced, you are not condemned by your genetics.
Mhm.
So she changed everything up. And when the NIH said what she had, they said, okay, we can attack it this way or this way. And the doctors, it's like everybody that came around her, she was the belle of the ward. When we set up her place, we had the soft music and the essences flowing inside. The nurses would come in and say, please, can I sit here? Can I just stay here for a while and just groove with you in this mellow place?
That's beautiful.
She was the star of the whole ward right there. Everybody just enjoyed coming into her room. And so what she went through, she said she wanted to feel like it was a hotel. And they treated her like she was at a hotel. And we all lost our hair. You notice, I had hair down my back. She had hair down to her backside. And when she had lost all her hair, I said, you saw me sometimes with my hair bald. I just cut it all off and we were looking like two M&Ms.
Well, that's all right. Look like M&Ms because your velocity just blew your hair off. You just elevated.
Wow.
We got folks out here whose wigs are spinning in the wind too from that eclipse.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I don't feel normal no more after that, and I'm running across people that they seem different. The Nalani and Big Brother Phil and family. There's something magical that happened with that eclipse. So I don't know what you was doing, Sister Nalani, whether you was riding over that eclipse or flying through that portal, but you give us a little insight what you noticed as far as your experience around that time of that eclipse.
That's very interesting. What you think about, you bring about. We always say that. And what you focus on grows. And frankly, we didn't think about it that much at all. We really didn't. I mean, people were up in arms, and some of our brothers and sisters, they did what they knew to do. They took the shoes off. I have a friend who went out there, was hugging a tree. Okay. And that's good. That's all good. For us personally, we knew that there were so many eclipses going on. All the time things are happening, and it's whatever the media wants you to focus on at the time and get all riled up about is something that we just don't partake in.
Yeah, but we just felt that the eclipse itself was just an affirmation. We just said the sun was taking a chill pill for a few minutes, and then it was
Okay.
Yeah, so he said, you know what, this particular eclipse, what it's going to do is give the sun a break and give the atmosphere a break, because it is constantly feeding us inside of the atmosphere, and the moon coming down is to cool the atmosphere for what's getting ready to happen. And we know that the womb always shows up whenever you see an eclipse, it's actually the womb getting ready to give birth to something. Okay, because the moon when you see that circle is the womb opening up to give birth. So whatever it is that you are affirming all that time up to that point, it's going to happen. And it's going to happen suddenly for some, because they've been holding that image, holding that program, and it's going to happen gradually for others who don't believe, or who are trapped in time, in other words. We're not trapped in time. We know everything is already evident and imminent. And when it's evident and imminent, you don't have to worry about what's happening around you, because the universe got you.
You know what? I'm going to ask you this, Nalani, because sometimes people go take a preview of the real life and then come back. Have you noticed any superpowers that has happened since you took that trip? Ooh, that's a hot question.
I can just tell you right out, no. Because it happened quickly, and my husband just did not allow me to be there long enough to travel far. He was so right on it.
Wow.
His timing was just right there. And the ancestors said, okay, we're going to use him to bring you back. And he knew that. I mean, it was just instinctive for him. Mm-hmm. It just really was. And so it was very quick. And in the first chapter, I actually give you what my thoughts were when I was going through that. I give you both versions. Mm-hmm. My version, which is how I was feeling as this was about to happen and as it happened, and then as he brought me back, what I was thinking, and his version, which was very different from what my version was, what my experience was. So I cannot honestly say that I saw a gate. It was just black.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Completely black.
That's because she was standing actually at the threshold, because the blackness comes before the light. You see a light, because I died and came back myself. Remember, I told you about my thing when I was 6 years old in Trinidad when I drowned. Between 6 and 8. I don't remember. That's the memory that was left me, I think. But what it is between the 6 and 8 years of age, I went through a death cycle myself. I left and I was up in the air. I was hearing my grandmother, where's that boy? My grandfather, where's that boy? And all of a sudden, when this Indian Dravidian guy dove in the water, pulled me back out, and put me into the boat and stuck me over the side of the boat. The worst part was actually coming back after my lungs, the things that happened to my lungs happened because of that, because I had all this salt water in my lungs and in my throat. And what happened was when I came back, it was horrible. I had the worst headache. My nose, my sinuses, everything was full of salt. It was horrible. But when I was gone, it was the most beautiful thing. I was flying above trees.
I was just going to say, don't forget to tell them what you saw.
Oh, yeah.
You saw
Well, she remembers more than me. But when I was up there, I saw, first of all, I was looking at my house. At the house where I was, it was right at the beach. And I was just looking around. I saw trees. I saw this, and I heard my grandparents' voice. Where is that boy? Where is that boy? And all of a sudden, it was like, I kept saying, I'm here, I'm right here. And all of a sudden, I felt like somebody was pulling me back. And this thing I know, all this was coming out of my nose. I was over the side of this fishing boat. And that was it. I was back. And then when they found out what happened to me, I got my licks. But then the women who were, the women who dressed all in white, because it was like an African village where we lived. They buried me overnight because of what I experienced, right up to my neck in the sand. And they stayed with me overnight. They were playing and they gave me drinks with herbs and the whole 9 yards. And they stayed with me that night, buried in the sand.
That's beautiful, brother, to share, because we have a very immature view of the natural cycle of life.
Yeah.
Regardless of, religion. I mean, we really act as if it's a wrap. It's done and over. And Nalani, it sounds like you have a whole lot more stories to tell the way you smiling. She ain't scared of nothing. Doc, look at her face. Look at her. She's ecstatic. She's like, oh, I got parties ahead.
I'm telling you, don't say the word party, because
oh Lord.
If there's anything that I like to do more than anything else in the entire world and in my entire life is dancing. Just don't put me out there to dance. You give me some salsa and the sun will come up and go down and come up again, and I'll still be out there on the floor.
That's true.
And so it wasn't all a piece of cake. Of course, I went through the process with the chemotherapy 3 times. not just once. I had, and then when I'm talking about chemotherapy, a lot of people go to chemotherapy and they sit and they put it in their veins and then they go home and then they have this reaction. I was in the hospital for over a year. Did not feel the sun on my face, did not feel the breeze, couldn't get out or off that 8th floor for over a year. And so as I was going through this, it was a very different place, right? And it brought me so far down and I didn't realize it because as I'm going through it, it was like taking it in stride. I'm taking it in stride. Looking back, when I remember how weak I was, when I remember that that chemotherapy was in my veins, you know, I was attached to this pole for 7 days straight, 7 days at a time.
That was the most radical.
And then, of course, not being able to turn over or move and just have to be there because you got all of this stuff. So my body had gone to a place, as I said before, that my muscles were like spaghetti. And being somebody who always danced, who took Pure Barre classes, which is really intense,
Taught.
and a true yogi, to not even be able to do anything.
Taught belly dance too.
Right.
Wow.
So right now, it's another world and another life, a true another life. Now, also, as a result of this strong chemotherapy, and I'll say this, usually when a person goes into the hospital, 35% of their blood is cancerous when they have leukemia, which is what I have, acute myeloid leukemia, right? 35% of their blood. When I arrived at the hospital, 87%, almost 90% of my blood was leukemic.
Wow, that's miraculous.
They did not expect me to survive.
That's right. She wasn't supposed to survive. But you know what? That's her living the life. If she was on this for 25 years of JP, of Juice Plus, and I say it right here. I will say it.
Well, this is a private meeting, right? This is not public because they don't really like for us to say.
I don't give.
Well, I better put up the banner so we ain't got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, there's the banner. That's the one I keep for these kind of shows, big bro. And if you have anything you want me to add to it, I will.
Fantastic. Will you go
And
ahead?
also, I
Put
did
that
check,
I'm telling you, it's safe.
the link, family, for the Eventbrite is now live. You can join in the show description, not in the chat, but in the show description right now. You can press the Eventbrite. I think it's an Eventbrite link, right?
No, it's a Zoom link.
It's a Zoom link. It's right at the top of the show description, family, because we have over 100 people listening. And the one thing we all have in common, family, is we're going to take that canoe ride one day. We don't know when, but you will hit lotto for that canoe ride into eternity. That's guaranteed.
Okay.
And I want to be smiling and looking like Nalani is and be as cool as Phil is when I cruise that canoe so that I will feel brand new.
Absolutely. So, and the reason I bring that up is because, like I said, at the age that I was, they didn't expect me to survive, right? And then they found that my organs are the organs of the 20-year-old. And that's because of my lifestyle. However, the chemotherapy, okay, so let me explain why, because there's three things I want to mention important, and then we'll be done. The first one is, why is it that someone so health conscious, been a naturopathic doctor, nutritionist for well over 45 years. So why is it that somebody who's so health conscious and has such a clean lifestyle, and who always teaches that your genes are not your destiny? Right? You don't, if your mom, your dad, everybody had it, doesn't mean you have to have it. And this is all I taught. However, your genes are within your chromosomes. And the chromosomes are the ones that they found 2 chromosomal anomalies that are prone to cancer. Now that's the one point. And the next one is extremely important. Don't judge. Don't judge people for whatever they do, whatever decisions they make, because you're not living their life. Right? So don't judge a person because they choose this or that. I knew instinctively, like my husband said, if you get hit by a car, don't come to me with something natural.
Yes.
Because it's not going to work. So being that I had 87% of my blood cancerous, and they gave me two options. The first option was to have this real strong chemotherapy that they don't like to give to anyone older than 50. And that was considered curable. The other one was to do what they do with more people in their 70s. They give them chemotherapy orally, and they stay on it for the rest of their lives, which might have been 2 years. Now, does that sound like an option to you? Mm-hmm. It didn't sound like an option to me. I'm not taking this stuff for the rest of my life, which might only be 2 or 3 years anyway. So I chose the more aggressive way because my body was in a state that required aggressive. Now, this is the last point. When I say don't judge, there is a difference. And we think we know so much, and we call ourselves doing research, which tickles me when people say, I did my research. I did research, which means they Googled, right? Which means they went online and looked this up and looked that up. Research is very different from that, okay? So that's not research. My point is that there's a big difference between tumoral cancers and blood cancer. Very big difference. Now, the science behind it is deep. And when I first, the way we met was because I had cancer of the breast, which was tumoral. And he put me on one of his amazing healing programs and taught me to heal myself with no drugs, no herbs, and without a lot of vitamins.
And in only 45 days, it was all gone.
Gone.
Wow.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and they wanted to do a mastectomy on one and a lumpectomy on the other. And we totally took care of that with that healing process. Mm-hmm. So you can put one situation inside another situation, right? Blood cancer is not like a tumor. Mm-hmm. It's your entire blood. And so as you'll read in the book, should you get it, you'll find that I had a bone marrow transplant. This is deep. This is serious stuff.
We're going into deep water right here now.
I'm telling you. And my daughter, you got to listen to this. This blows me away even today. For several months after the transplant, I did not have a blood type. I was so wiped clean because I went through that chemotherapy 3 times. And then the day before the transplant, I had a complete whole body radiation.
Wow.
To wipe out everything.
Yep.
They wiped out everything so nothing could come creeping back, which usually happens with people. It comes creeping back. But this Dr. Khaled, it was just amazing. Just
Khaled was off the chain.
He was on it. He was on it. So anyway, there's a difference there. There's a big difference between all types of cancers. And so you just never know. Don't judge. You don't know what people are going through.
Yeah, that's deep, sister, because judging lowers frequency. Mm-hmm. It lowers frequency. Atomic velocity is almost like the tar baby on the wooden fence. The minute you stick your finger with judging with your attention, you get stuck on lower frequencies.
How many of us know that story of the tar baby?
I remember that from childhood. Y'all remember that, don't you? Put it in the comments. Do you remember the story about the tar baby and Bear Rabbit?
Yes.
And how your judgment fingers get you stuck.
Think you stuck.
You got young people, you've got to learn. You've got to hear Uncle Remus's story.
Yeah. Also, the briar patch.
And the briar patch where that's the only one really that I'm interested in. The one where the tar baby, where Brer Rabbit,
Brer Rabbit and Brer
Bear.
Rabbit and
Brer Rabbit and the tar
That's
baby.
a deep show. I mean, that's a deep story because so many of us get stuck on grudge-itis.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
grudge-itis. We hold grudge into the next 7 lifetimes.
That's that carrying on into what we call the karma that comes back to you because your soul is so registered in judgment that you become judged by Jehudi, and your heart gets devoured by Jehudi as a baboon, and you got to come back into life again. You know, it's interesting that you should talk about velocities because one of the subtitles to my new book is called The Metaphysical Velocities of Being.
Ooh.
You know, take it there. Everything is metaphysical. The man is a metaphysical genius. And I'll tell you, everything that comes out, he sees it through the lens of metapsychology. Everything of metaphysics. So it's not something that he has to put a hat on and say, okay, this is my metaphysical hat. No. It's this way 24/7.
Yeah, you know, because we need this. Because I really believe we're going through some kind of DNA activation. Because somebody was messing with our wiring sometime, and what Big Bro talking about, Brother Phil, is right on time. What you're talking about, you're making people tonight, Sister Nalani, fearless, because that's the biggest chains of slavery is fear of the afterlife.
That's right.
Yes. Yes, you hit it right on the head. I had no fear. And I don't know why. I wasn't being brave. It was my way of thinking, my lifestyle, my mentality was all on the opposite end.
Wow.
So I couldn't get to that if I wanted to. I was not thinking of fear. It was just like when I'm in the hospital and the doctor came in talking real fast. He said, well, I see that you're both doctors. And I'm saying to myself, how did he know that? Right. Well, I see that you're both doctors, so I'm going to give it to you straight. You have acute myeloid leukemia, and it is a serious situation. And I guess you know what it is. And my thought was, okay, what's next?
The same thing I said when we first met. She said, I'm going for a lumpectomy and a vasectomy and this. And and I said, oh, okay. No problem. And she was
blew me away. I went to him for the first consultation and he read me. And so he said, okay, so he says, and I'm looking at you now. He wasn't looking directly at me. He was looking
through her to the
side. And he said, I'm looking at you and I see that you have that tumor in your womb. And I said, no, it's in the breast. He said, you got one there too. And I said to myself, okay. But the point that he's making is that he was so sure that, it sounds like I'm brave, right? No, I was very afraid, right? And he said, because of him, because he said, oh, you'll be fine. Just like that. Oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and then you'll be fine. And the beauty was, I saw that, and the first thing you do as a healer is to change the atmosphere around that particular condition, because there's anger, there's fear, there's this this anxiety, and the first thing that a person dealing in healing, not a healer, but a person who facilitates healing, must unlock the healing process within the person itself, and the first thing you do is to allay fears. When you do not, the doctors come in and they give names to these things, and there's this horrific feeling when they start judging you and saying, this is what you have, this is who you are. And I just completely removed that, and it was a little bit she took her back for a minute. And I said that, first of all, a tumor essentially is nothing more than the collection of the materials that the body uses to heal itself. So when there is what you call a tumor, a fibroid is essentially, or any breast cancers and so forth, has to do with what the thought process is, metaphysics. So when I began to tell her that, and I tell her why these particular conditions were there, and giving her the power, the first thing you do is you take the power away from the word and the doctors, and you give it back to the person who it is that you're talking to. And you let them know that you are the healer, not the doctor, not me, but you are the healer. And then you facilitate that in them, and you give them that courage to know that when you have changed your mind, then you change the mind of the cells themselves. And when you didn't aid them, and then when I told her what to do, boom, after 45 days, she went back, took another scan, and they asked her, where the hell is it? We were ready to cut and chop and, dice and slice. Nah, not today.
Yo, Doc.
Yeah.
Sister Nalani, Dr. Nalani. I got y'all full screen for a reason. You got a young looking neck, sister. And Phil does too. I'm looking at your neck. I don't see no turkey marks. I don't see no gobble gobble swinging. You look tight and your skin looks bright and you are shining even after dark into the night.
Well, let me tell you.
I'm stuck on shrooms. I'm still high, but I'm looking at you. Y'all look good.
Well, you just got to catch us at the right time when we kind of crawling out of bed.
Some of those pictures I put on Instagram, I have to look twice and say, well, I see a lot of that going on.
No, you look like you had Vaseline from diapers. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know. But this is some deep stuff because nobody in our so-called conscious community deals with the ultimate reality that we're going to be dead and gone in 50 years. And it'll be a lucky thing if anybody remembers us. We're going to be gone.
Yeah. But again, like you have to live a life that will go on beyond your physical flesh.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you do works with the people in mind,
yes,
you create the legend because your name will be in their words. Your name will be in their hearts. Your names will be in their minds. And when that happens, then you become immortal in the spirit, immortal in the flesh as well, because the things that you now are doing, you're passing that on to them. Yeah. That's what I've always wanted to duplicate myself. The problem is a lot of people who are in our work do not duplicate themselves. This is why my university exists. Mm-hmm. This is why she teaches what she teaches, especially through that other program. And that's why we need to we get to consistently tell the people, pay it forward. Pay it forward. And you'll understand and understand exactly what it is that you do. You know that giving is greater than receiving. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Because the Most High is a giver.
Yes.
It don't need anything from us. So what it's telling you by its existence and your existence is that the more you give, the greater you become, the more you become connected to what the Most High is really about. And that is the empathy to give to others, to uplift others as you uplift yourself. You see?
This is powerful. Wow. Because not too many of us take a mini ride into the afterlife and then do a 180 spin on our heels of 180 and come on back and say, hey, y'all, there's a party on the other side. But right now it's time for me to do my thing in this time space continuum.
Not in your mid-70s, I tell you.
That's right.
I'll tell you the other thing that you'll find is that the head of the femur, which is, the long bone from the knee to the hip, and the head of the femur was demineralized by the chemotherapy. And we had no idea until afterwards. Uh-huh. Then afterwards, I was having this pain when I walked. And so long story short, I had a hip replacement. I had to have a complete left hip replacement. Mm-hmm. Wow. 2 months later, right hip replacement. Yeah. So now I'm recovering from 2 major surgeries a year and a half after the bone marrow transplant, where I couldn't even stand up. Yeah. Couldn't stand up. So that's why there's so much joy when I can move again. I can walk again and I can dance again.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, my daughter created for Mother's Day. She created a video, a short video with some pictures of myself to Chaka Khan singing "I'm Every Woman." And in fact, my husband's going to put that in the PowerPoint in the presentation. And the other night, I danced to that. I just was watching it, and you know how YouTube videos are. Well, Instagram videos are how they repeat and repeat. And
yeah.
I couldn't stop myself.
Good.
I danced for 10 minutes straight.
And the thing about it is, she looked weird because it was in her ear, and because it was in her ear, that there's this gyrations and going around. And I'm looking at her and I'm saying, "Hello, are you all right?"
And you know what I appreciate about seeing the both of you? We don't see this enough in our community. We don't see couples enough. We don't even see sisters caressing brothers' coat tees enough. I mean, you always hear about this one being, the high and mighty, or this one being the high and mighty, but seldom do we see the divine balance of the feminine and masculine. And it's a healing experience to have sun and moon energy dancing together on this show. I salute you, big brother, sister Nalani. I salute you, and we salute you, because this is healing for us. We haven't seen stuff like this since what was Bill Cosby and the Family? What was that, back in the 80s?
Yeah.
We don't see
it. I did that show too. Remember?
Right, he was on that show.
We don't see it enough.
Yeah.
So this is inspiring, what you're sharing.
We don't want
and many of us in here getting healing from y'all sitting here kicking it with matching T-shirts.
Oh, well, you
know what? It's so funny. I put the scarf on, and because this is the first time in decades that I've had my hair tied.
Wow.
And so I said, well, let me tie it. Let me just put something on. I had no idea what shirt he was going to wear.
Yeah.
No idea.
So
he comes in the room and he says, look.
Same colors.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too. We looking at this.
We didn't plan it.
We did not plan it.
So that's some deep tantra. That's tantra on the highest levels.
Well, Dua, we really appreciate the fact that you have us on, that you're sharing and letting us share your space.
Oh, this is a ministry for me. This channel is not monetized. I don't think I'll ever have it monetized, because sometimes you just need to have a ministry platform.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you for the time that you've allowed us to be here. She has another event to take place coming up very soon.
Okay.
So I want to prepare for that. But thank you so much. Family, you need to be there on the 28th. You will not regret it. So much to speak to you all about, to tell you about it, to get the nutrition that actually helped her to survive. I'm telling you, you get to do that. Okay. And I want to see you there. Everybody be there to actually see the reading, to get the words from Chaka Khan herself and her sister, Tammy.
Wow.
And when they wrote the foreword to the book. So, there's a lot happening in our lives, and we want to share that with everyone. And we do have customers and clients that are in the very high entertainment. We can't speak too much on it unless they say they would, we don't mind, they don't mind us talking about them. Yeah. But, the fact that we know a lot of them and we love them, and they spread the word, and they're talking to their people in their professional teams and their musical groups. By the way, her daughter, Maz Swift, is a monster violinist. Wow. And she has been with and she's played with, what's the name of that?
Yo-Yo Ma.
Yo-Yo Ma, and what's the rock and roll dude? Bruce Springsteen. Wow. She's played with all the heavyweight. And she wrote her own classical piece that was played by the Los Angeles Philharmonic.
She conducted
it. This is how serious it is. And you know, my son is one of the top choreographers in hip hop, and he's now getting out there and he's doing. You know, we got to blow up our little ones.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
yeah, well, he's out there now. He's directing videos.
Yes.
Yeah, he's directing hip hop videos now, and because he's been in a lot of these television shows, you know. Well, anyway, you're going to see them pretty soon coming out. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And family, don't go anywhere, because Phil, I just want to do this for Monique Nicholas, event coming up on Sunday.
Beautiful.
Nicholas Bookstore. And we got Phil, one day the both of you got to come to Nicholas Bookstore.
We will, when she's better, when I think that she can actually deal with the trip. And
yeah,
so,
man.
Yeah.
We gotta make that happen.
Oh, we
and,
will.
And we're gonna magnetize you. I just want to do this video real quick. This is a promo video, okay, Phil? Sister
Okay.
Nalani?
Go right ahead.
God is so high. God is so high. God is so high. God is so high. Yeah, yeah. Come on, people, let's get together. Said it's the only way. Now love and unity is easy. It's the ancient way. God is so high. God is so high. God is so.
Indeed.
Nice.
Wonderful.
All right. We did it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I had to put together that real quick. And I just want to say thank you for being on Magnets, Crystals, Pyramids. Thank you for your amazing message, because it applies to every one of us.
Indeed.
Every one of us. And you know what? One question, Nalani. Since your canoe ride initiation, have you been sensitized to all your family, friends, and loved ones who might be dancing around you? You get what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I always have been.
Ooh.
Really, it
Yeah.
wasn't any different, because my ancestors, my mom, dad, brother, those who have made it to the other side, they were always with me.
Yes.
Always. So it wasn't anything. And the older I get, the more I see my mother.
Yeah.
I look in the mirror and I say, okay, Mom.
Yeah. And we have altars to our parents. And so
Right, we have one.
we light candles and we have them in our minds and in our hearts consistently.
You know, I had my dad come from the afterlife and tell me to tell my brother to change his rear left tire. And when my brother went to look at his rear left tire, the treads were coming off, and he was getting ready to get on the turnpike.
There you go.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's real talk.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank
You
you.
say, family, the registration, the connection is in the show description. So this also is the connection to our beautiful couple here and now, Sister Nalani and Big Brother Baba Phil Valentine, so that the network is reinforced. I want to thank you all for being a part of this show now and in the future. And remember, you make the difference. And the knowledge we have, success is our destiny. Ashe.
Asheo.
Asheo.
Let it be spoken, so let it be done.